Welcome back to the R.D.C show. Richard?
Derek?
Chris?
I guess this week we're just going to start off with the hot topics we hear locally and current events. I guess first of all, as a person that lives in Michigan, this is 1 week's worth of prop things. You people can quit sending this stuff. I get the point. So that's a lot of taxpayer dollars wasted right there. I think there's I think that's a little too much. I mean, you got 3 of them here, all against Proposal 3. The other one, Proposal 6, Proposal 2. What's this one? Proposal 6. And this one here even tells you how to vote. Tells you which ones you should pick and which ones you shouldn't pick. That was paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
I think it was more like Prosperous Americans.
Should look up, see if you look that up and see if you can figure out who Americans for Prosperity is. Americans for Prosperity. And why Big D does that, we're not going to get caught up too much on those ads. We talked about them last week.
Proposals.
And we talked about the proposals last week. I guess this week, some of the current events, been a lot of killings lately. I don't know how many more people need to die before you people realize that not everybody deserves to have a gun. There was the husband who went to his wife's workplace, even though she had a PPO against him, and he went in there and shot a bunch of people, including her and himself. I had to be a hillbilly neighbor or a hillbilly cousin who shot his other cousin because he thought she was a big skunk. She was trying on her Halloween costume. What a dumbass. There's the horrible children killings in New York. The nanny suspected of killing the 2 kids, which I'll be the first one to say, since I heard nowhere else, how do we know the nanny did it till the nanny can talk? She was in critical condition when she was found next to the children's bodies. She had a bloody knife in her hand, but she also stuck herself in the throat. I don't know. She either had to be really, really, really crazy, because sticking yourself in the throat is not a good way to kill yourself, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, there's got to be something more to that.
There's got to be something. Yeah. To the family that lost those 2 children, deepest sympathies. I would never want to experience anything anywhere near that. You got the kid that killed the 10-year-old just to see if he could do it. The 17-year-old kid who confessed to his mother killed that little girl. And then basically they found, first they thought it was a sex offender, and it turned out it was him, and he just did it to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I heard his son killed a mom because she told him that she didn't like the company he was hanging out with.
So he goes and kills her for no reason.
Kills her mom.
And I'll tell you this, people.
His mom.
If all them crazy people had been smoking some good weed, they would have never done none of them crazy crimes. If the kids were crying too much and Nanny went crazy and stabbed them, if she had the right to go in the next room and smoke on a blunt, she'd walk back in there, smiles on her face, and played bubble bath with them.
You don't know that. Hey, the thing that you said about guns, though, is that a person that is that distraught and wants to do harm will find a way to do it without a gun. I understand that guns are usually...
well, obviously the nanny used a knife if she did.
Yeah, right.
It was not. It was a knife that killed those 2 little kids.
Yeah, that was...
But the guy that... Look, the story I told you a couple weeks ago about the guy who saw someone breaking into his neighbor's house and shot him, and it was his 15-year-old son.
Yeah.
And then the guy who just shot his cousin because he thought she was a big skunk. Those are there 2 cases people should not have had weapons to grab immediately and use without thinking. Especially the guy who shot the skunk. Well, yeah, but in this country we give anyone who wants a gun because it said so.
I mean, you can't really say it's...
But yet, not everybody can have a joint.
Current events, but it's still... It is fresh in the news that they're talking about Trayvon Martin case again. In which case, in my opinion, and I don't know, maybe this will seem ignorant to some people, but in my opinion, he left the house with a gun, spoiling for a fight, and he found one. And that is the end result of that. If you allow the citizens to just go roaming the streets with armed, citizens who roam in the streets, you better expect innocent people to die because of it. I mean, it's do I think that there should be no restrictions on guns and gun ownership and all that stuff? no, I think there should be some rules to it, but you're not going to root out the kind of people who do these things that you're talking about, that do gun violence. Because if they couldn't use gun violence, they would figure out another way to do it.
All right.
I mean, you could go and get.
But it might make a few of them think twice. So.
Right, but why?
Right.
If they didn't have that option, they'd figure out another way. I mean,
all I'm saying is there should be an IQ test to buy a gun. You should have to take an IQ test to buy a gun, and if you don't hit a certain level, then sorry.
Well, that doesn't really mean a whole lot either, though, man.
Well, no, I guess not.
Crazy too,
ingenuity is necessity is a mother invention. I heard somewhere that they didn't allow prisoners to have fucking dental floss because they could weave ropes out of the shit after a while, and they could also cut through bars with toothpaste and fucking
some string
and some tooth and
dental floss,
dude. What the fuck, dude? I mean, anything could be used as a weapon. You could go get some medical supply store for diabetic, get some needles, go into fucking Menards, go fucking draw off a fucking couple cc's of bleach and stab it in somebody's neck and they're dead.
Yeah.
Just like that. You don't need a gun. If you're bent on fucking doing something to somebody, a gun is not a... I mean, right now, yes, you're absolutely right in this case, that it's too convenient.
Yes,
that it's too easy.
Mention if that guy's going to kill his cousin because he thinks he's a big skunk that way, he's got to go do a whole lot of work to just open a cabinet, grab something, and go boom.
Well, that's up to the individuals to trigger. Like you said, we had a shotgun within reach our whole childhood. A loaded shotgun within our reach.
We knew, don't touch it.
Don't touch it. You don't touch it because that's what we were taught to do.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's up to society to raise everybody else's kids nowadays. It's not up to the actual parent.
Well, a lot of problems.
It's up to TV and YouTube and the internet and video games to raise your kids, not you.
I mean, you got too much Honey Boo Boo, Kim Kardashian, 16 and pregnant.
I still have not seen Honey Boo Boo. I can only imagine what it really is, but...
It's some little brat-ass kid telling everybody what to do and how to think. The kid that you just walk them elbow, but instead of elbowing her, you actually elbow the mother because the mother's dumbass who allowed her to be that way.
And she's on like beauty pageant and
another topic that a local topic that I would like to discuss is that the way that the law is implemented on people. Let's say, I don't know, maybe you're a police officer and you get caught drunk driving. It seems weird.
That's Honey Boo Boo right there, dude.
Jesus.
Sorry, the computer's sound isn't that great in the laptop here.
Okay, I don't need to see any more of that. Any more of that.
People do not need to make money from junk like this.
But did you guys hear about that Lansing police officer that got what? It was a slap on the wrist for fucking drunk driving.
Oh yeah. But he's a cop. Of course that's going to happen for him that way. I don't know.
That's getting way off topic, but I would, to me, I've always been puzzled, and I'm not trying to taunt law enforcement or anything. I just wonder, I guess my perception is that you just bully poor people, from my point of view. I understand that you have a whole idea and a set of principles in which you believe in and think that you're actually doing good for society, but how come you never go after the politicians, the people who are raping and pillaging our whole community, affecting thousands of people's lives? They're not just some little hood on the street that's stealing from his neighbors or one or two people. They're stealing from thousands of people, and yet you do nothing about it. The members of the police department openly break the law in front of you and you do nothing about it. Why is it that you only enforce the law on the poor? And for that matter, I'd like to bring up another topic. I've noticed that the East Lansing Police Department does something that I would like to call economic profiling. If you're driving some beater piece of shit through the East Lansing, whether you're going 1 mile an hour over or not, they're pulling you over. You don't get pulled over in a nice car.
Does it happen to you firsthand?
No, but I'm just saying, I've noticed a lot of the cars that I see pulled over on Grand River and Michigan Avenue, right in there through by East Lansing and campus, are always a shitty car can't make it past the cop in there. they're going to pull you over and find out what you're about.
They don't like them in their proper area.
No, they know you don't belong there because you ain't got the kind of money to live there.
Yeah.
Economic profiling happens. It's not just a race thing.
Yeah, that's true.
They use a different profile.
So many people
technique.
take an oath to uphold the Constitution and the city charter and the state constitution and the U.S. Constitution, yet they openly break it whenever it suits them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They
have the power. They can.
Yeah, I mean, believe me, that you lose faith in the civilians and the population in general when you allow one of your own to get away with stuff. It just does not look good.
Right.
It's not okay to murder your citizens either. That girl that was murdered in the bank, that did not need to happen. That was murder. You murdered her. That kid on the motorcycle out there running from the cops, you bet your ass, whoever that was, that Howell Township or whatever township police officer it was, I'm sorry if it wasn't. I don't want to, say that it was somebody else that it wasn't, but whoever that officer was that you pulled that bike out in front of that, or that car out in front of that bike, you knew you were killing that kid. That's murder. You knew you were doing that. You knew he wouldn't be able to avoid you, and you killed him. That's bullshit, man.
That's what they...
Citizens, you got to realize that tyranny is just a step away when stuff like that's going on. When you have a police force that brutalizes its own populace and basically does nothing but guard the special interests and the interests of the rich and wealthy, there's a problem there. They're not,
It's at every state level and the government level.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we going to do?
There's no more checks and balances, though. That's been stripped. They eroded away.
Yep.
We didn't safeguard it.
Took away all them kind of things. You know?
Yeah.
People watching over what other people do. That wasn't good for the parties that be. So all that stuff had to be voted out. No more regulations. Let people do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
But back to current events. The other hot topic in current events this week is the hurricane. They're calling it the storm of all storms, the perfect storm, the Franken storm, whatever the hell they're trying to do to make people watch. Basically, it looks like hell is coming to New York, and I find it funny that this kind of thing was predicted years ago about what would happen if we stayed on the path we were of polluting the skies, and people just don't ever listen. So...
Do you hear that song?
Whatever happens.
What is it? American Pride by
I'm not
Toby
saying
Keith?
it was all done by Americans, that the storm wasn't, but it's proven fact that pollution in our skies is hurting the ice caps of the world and causing damage.
Changing weather patterns.
Because of the way the rays bounce back up, they bounce off the ice and go back.
It's not just us.
Well, no, we're not the only ones to blame, but I got to tell you,
volcanoes that erupt do more damage than what we do.
Yeah, but it's the kind of gas that humans put up. I just listened to this really good thing
that
on
still
NPR
messes up the atmosphere
where they
they
take tests of the atmosphere. And just since we outlawed aerosol cans, it has dropped a dramatic amount to where it's actually re-healing itself. So it proves that it was us. But the thing is, you just have to drop it a little bit more. But nobody wants to do that because they say that it's impossible. Quit showing yourself.
What do you think of that Toby Keith song? What is it, American Pride or whatever? He's talking about the ozone's burning, but yet the world still keeps turning.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You people that take that position that global warming isn't real, what the hell are you going to do a couple years? I mean, how many more years of that do you have left before that you can actually deny it and sound like you're an intelligent person?
You know, it's been proven that if we went back to feeding cows the way we're supposed to feed them, with grass fields, with hay fields, that the earth would heal itself. Because not only have we put more pollution up there, but we've taken away the thing that naturally heals the planet. Like Derek talks about the volcanoes and that. Yeah, it's true, volcanoes and that do put out that. But in the old days, the earth had more vegetation to counter that so that it didn't kill itself. What we've done is polluted the sky as much as volcanoes and wiped away all the stuff that heals it.
Yeah.
And so there's no way for it to heal itself. And I'm telling you people, without that, we're going to regret it. It's not going to be too far away.
Let's go to
the earth is going to reset itself. And if that doesn't necessarily include us.
And it don't care about us.
No.
We're just ants working on a big old home. And then here comes a fucking rain cloud, boosh, washes us away.
Right.
I know the earth don't care about us. She'll heal herself because
Yep.
the earth will go on.
The earth will always go on. Yep.
Mankind, I think will go on. I think we're smart enough. We'll live through some stuff.
Yeah.
But back to the storm, people. I hope you're safe out there dealing with that. I would personally never want to mess around with a hurricane. That stuff does not look fun.
Crazy stuff, man.
At all. I like thunderstorms. Like when right now, I don't like tornado kind of thunderstorms, but if you just got a really good, thunder boomer coming in, I don't mind those. I don't mind sitting at home listening to that and having a good rain downpour. But there ain't no way I want to be anywhere near no hurricane.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
100-mile-an-hour winds. Nah. You see them people trying to walk around and their feet are coming off the ground. Hell no. That shit ain't meant to be. That's like the people that look at tornadoes and say, hey, let's go get up close to it. Nah.
Yeah.
You go ahead. It's just like the guy in the zombie movie says, hey, I think Fred across the street don't look good. He's got blood dripping from his mouth. I would stand inside and say, oh, you go out there. If you're okay, then I'll come out in a little bit. Same thing with tornadoes and all that kind of crap. Volcanoes. Nah. Somebody sees a volcano. Hey, let's go look at it. Let's get as close
Let's
as
go look at it.
No, you can send me pictures on your phone. I'm
it's
going
steaming.
another way.
Let's go look at it.
I'm going the opposite direction of this stuff. But people in New York and New Jersey, hold tight. Hopefully you're all right.
Yeah.
Because here in Michigan, they say we could get some surges from the winds and some of the rain clouds. But
I'll believe it when I see it.
We're supposed to get rain. That's it. So we'll be.
It'll be another apocalyptic storm that didn't happen. So no big deal.
And the only other thing,
It's not the end of the world.
the only other thing in major and current events is the election's still going on, obviously, and the whole thing in Libya just will not go away. The Republican Party just will not drop it. Fox News.
The Benghazi
The
thing?
Benghazi thing, they just won't let it drop.
Yeah.
People, this is the only thing I'll say on it. This is the last thing I'll say on it. Is the night that started, it was broke that the senator and his men were taken to a safe location. So, of course, if the White House is watching the building burn, they're not going to send in troops and start an all-out war. As far as we knew, he was in a safe location. That was reported that first night. You have not heard anyone say it since that first night, that he was supposedly taken to a secure location. Except for you can look it up and find out it was a fact, because it was the people at the secure location that sold him out to the militia mob when they tracked him down. So all these people, Rush Hannity, Ingram, all these right-wing people that are just kicking this thing around and around and around, talking about, we watched the building burn.
You sound desperate.
We watched the building burn. We watched it burn. We watched them attack and destroy it. Well, of course we did. And they're saying, why didn't we rush in there and start a war? Why didn't we send troops in there to kill people? Because they were already told that he was taken to a secure location. If he's taken to a secure location, who cares about a damn building? You want to start a war over a building? Now look, maybe I'm wrong, and the president and them knew that guy was being tortured and killed and all that stuff. And if that's the fact, then he is wrong, and he will pay for it
This is wrong.
sometime. But I don't think that he knew that guy was being taken hostage. They reported that he was taken to the secure house, and it was only reported a few hours later. I remember watching it the day it broke out, and then a few hours later they reported that he was kidnapped from the secure house. But it was a few hours after they broke the story. So if that's the way it went down, which we will never know, and there are some things we don't know. And the other thing is, what if we did something wrong? You people want them just to come out and say this. Well, what if, not to say anything bad about the dead, but what if one of those people in that building did something wrong to somebody out there? You want them to come forth and say that, and then people will know that those Americans died because one of them was a dumbass?
No, they were. It was a terrorist attack.
Well, yeah, it was anything over there is a terrorist attack. But how do you know they didn't piss one of them off? We don't know. We weren't there.
Right.
I'm not saying that did happen or it didn't happen.
What do you think about it?
I mean,
unless you were there to see it.
That's how I sort of feel. It's hard to say what side to take, because of my whole philosophy on things these days is like, if I haven't seen it, then how can I say what it really is?
Do you think we should have sent troops in there and started a war like they wanted? Another war in Libya? Because if we would send troops in there,
we should have sent drones.
That would have started.
Well, we had to come back here.
We had a drone over top, but we were not given permission to bomb or do anything. Yeah. If we were, it would have caused a war between us and Libya. Yeah. That's the last thing we need when we're already fighting in other places over there. Yeah, it's a shame that those 4 people died.
Should be taken away, man. Except for just tanks.
Well,
or something,
the bottom line is we shouldn't have consulates anywhere, because Christopher said a few weeks ago, those are not our embassies. They're not protected like an embassy. Yeah. Consulates should not even be over there.
No,
they're retarded. They don't make any sense. We don't need them. they're not protected as much as the embassy. If you want to have something over there, you put an embassy over there, and that's considered American soil, and you block it and you protect it at all rights.
Exactly. It wasn't that protected, was it?
No. But it wasn't an embassy, like Christopher said. The
Oh,
embassies
right.
are what they protect.
Right.
You know? I mean, they do have protection there, but it's not that much.
Not that much.
But at the same time, I don't think any of our ambassadors or senators or congressmen or anybody that goes over there to visit should stay. They should all be in the embassy where there's maximum security. I don't think they should be in a place like that that's unsecure. But, you know, you would think they had enough intelligence for that. But the thing is, people, things have been run this way for 20, 30 years. They're trying to make it sound like it's all Obama's fault.
Right.
They've been running the show this way forever. Just nobody died.
Wow, yeah.
Somebody could have died 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And would they have been going after that president like that? And like I said before, you know, they want to go after Obama about this, but they didn't care that Reagan had the old Iran-Contra scandal and that George Bush claimed weapons of mass destruction and started a war that killed hundreds of thousands of Americans.
On that note, I would like to say,
It still is.
Still is.
in the way that you would justify,
tens of thousands of Americans.
if Obama is responsible for what happened in Libya, then you have to believe that by that
Definition.
by that definition,
I know where you're going with this.
Bush is responsible for 9/11.
Yep. Because
Why didn't he do it? He was warned by the CIA that they were doing it. He was warned they were in the country.
He was warned by England. England gave us that thing that Condoleezza Rice read. Attack by Bin Laden imminent. Attack using planes against the U.S. imminent. And that was 2 weeks before 9/11 happened. And he did nothing.
If Obama's responsible for Libya, Bush is responsible for 9/11.
That's a good point, Christopher. If Obama's responsible for those 4 murders, then Bush is responsible for those 3,000 murders.
Dick Cheney is really.
And Dick Cheney, yeah, because Dick Cheney's one who had his dick up Bush's ass like, you're my little puppet.
If you want to understand what the true nature of politics in America,
he burned them out when they gay sex.
And they run America.
I'm sorry to all you gay people. That's not right, because you got more class than Dick Cheney did. He was worthless.
If you want to know the true nature of politics in America, you got to understand. So many people are familiar with the concept of loss. For all those people that had money in Wall Street that lost their money when you lost your pension, when you lost your life savings and everything, okay, you're familiar with that. But we all understand that there's losers and winners. There's winners and losers, okay? Somebody won. Yeah. That money did not evaporate. Right. It did not disappear. Yeah. Somebody got it. You should try to figure out who got it, how they got it. That's who really runs this country. That's who's really running us into the ground. And wherever they put their money and their support, you go the other way. That's how things really work. There was a lot of losers and a few winners. Figure out who those people were.
Right, Michigan voters, think of this.
We're gonna do another fucking bailout again.
Take what he's saying and look at it. Follow the money and see what they're telling you. All the people that are telling you no on these proposals are telling you yes on them. Pay attention to who's spending the money and why.
Yes, in Michigan we have a lot of people who are really blurring the lines on politics. They come out and they say they're in support of this when they really have
you got somebody that
ulterior motives.
When they send you one that tells you who to pick, some common person who doesn't have any common sense will go to their mailbox and look at this and agree with everything.
And say, that's how I'm going to do it.
That's how I'm going to vote.
Any of you
their
Canadian
opinion
fans
being put on
tonight, I want to hear some comments about this episode.
Yeah, the Ambassador Bridge,
what
man.
Goes on, the
Proposal
Bridge,
6, they say that that you guys are gonna pay for the Ambassador or the new bridge. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Maddie, he's the one putting money on it.
Let's cut that out because that needs to be a separate segment.
No,
you can put it all in.
All right, well then you're gonna have to put that part out. But I'm sorry. All right, we'll go back into the Ambassador Bridge. Anyway. Yeah. You know, we're going to build this other bridge, and like you said, this is the guy that owns it.
Yeah.
Owns the Ambassador Bridge, and he's the one. He's giving the big push against it, right?
No,
he doesn't want the proposal to happen. He doesn't want the new bridge built, right?
Let's see. Contributions, reported spending on ballot effort as of July, least money, whatever. report.
No, this is the guy that wants you. This is the guy that owns the bridge.
He wants you to vote against the new bridge.
Yeah.
He wants you to vote no on
Okay, it says
yes on proposal.
on Wednesday pumped another $5.1 million into his ballot campaign aimed at forcing a referendum on a new public bridge. Okay, yeah, so he's fighting for it. Yes.
He's fighting against.
He's
fighting for a yes, so that we have to vote on it.
Yes.
He's fighting so that we have to vote.
Yep.
He's dumped a lot of his own money into it.
Yeah.
Now that kind of conflicts normally how I feel about stuff, knowing that much money is being pumped into it for that reason.
Right.
Because I understand
it's still a waste of money.
He's trying to stop any competition. However, I don't see the problem in allowing the people to vote on it, and that's really what we're voting on in Prop 6. We're not voting for yes or no for the bridge. We're voting on the right to vote yes or no on the bridge.
Exactly.
So do you want the right to vote? That's the question for
the right
Prop
to vote.
6. Regardless of whose money is going into it. One thing that you brought up, though, Derek, in this
Prop 2
and I did want to talk about this real quick. It's kind of not sort of the same, but I did want to bring this up. The last gubernatorial race in Michigan, Virg Bernero and Rick Snyder only spent $14 million combined in their re-election or their election effort, whatever.
Yeah. They don't need that much money either.
No, but they didn't need to spend a lot of money because it basically didn't matter. Whichever one won. I mean, first of all, Virg Bernero, you ran a very impotent campaign. You did. You didn't put up a challenge. I'm glad that you ain't governor. But you didn't put up a fight. Why did John Kerry drop out? Yeah, well, either one of them won, we would have been in the same predicament because Virg Bernero, regardless of the flag that he flies as a progressive Democrat, is most certainly a Republican. He's a union buster. He breaks contracts with his unions all the time. He's constantly selling off all public assets. The guy hasn't been a Michigander very long, and he certainly hasn't lived in Lansing very long. He jumps from seat to seat to seat. He's going to come in here, sell off, and make as much money as he possibly can, hope to try and gain some kind of political fucking credibility, and then move on. He's here for the short term, and he's here to screw us. Totally unrelated to your subject, I'm sorry, but I had to...
That's all good. Get off Virg, man. You get some people's feathers.
Well, I guess the last topic in the current events would be the World Series. Come on, Tigers. We need you to come back.
Tigers. Let's do
down 2-0, right starting tonight. You're playing right now, matter of fact. Hopefully you're doing good. Go Tigers. The state of Michigan needs something.
We're about to check right here and see what the score is.
Don't fail us like the Lions and everybody else. And hockey players, I will say this. You deserve to not play hockey. They gave you a 50-50 shot, 50% split. And I said when the owners did that, if the hockey players didn't take that deal, then the onus was going to be on the players. And the onus is on them now. They refused to take the 50-50 split. Hockey deserves to die. It was a dying sport anyways. You were already fourth.
I loved it. It was my favorite sport.
You were already fourth. Well, yeah, you loved it, but they were already fourth, and they were doing things like setting shit up and... Like you said,
Gary Bettman, you basically turned the Stanley Cup into a shiny commode anyway with your fake ass champions.
It's just started, so it's bottom of the first, nothing. Anyway.
Yeah. But well, all right. I guess that's it. This is our new segment. Hopefully you enjoyed it. We're gonna call it current events and topics. We'll try to mix a whole bunch of stuff together. I know it's a little different than what you've been saying. Peace.
See ya.